They say boxing is the art of balance, of weight, credibility, and legacy. But come November 14th, 2025, we're staring at a fight that could break every unwritten rule of the sport. Jake Paul versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Is this a real showdown between two worlds, or just another cash grab disguised as history in the making? Two men, two very different paths. Jake Paul, the YouTuber who transformed himself into boxing's loudest disruptor. A man who went from viral skits to selling out arenas, compiling a record of 12 wins with 7 knockouts. He's faced aging MMA stars, retired fighters, and has carved out a reputation as both a disruptor and a showman. His critics call him a fraud. His fans call him the future. But what nobody can deny is this: Jake Paul has forced himself into the conversation. Across from him stands Gervonta Davis, undefeated, 30 wins, nearly all by knockout. A lightweight champion whose southpaw stance, explosive counterpunching, and vicious bodywork have cemented him as one of boxing's most feared men. Davis is not a circus act. He is the real thing, a technician with knockout power, a fighter molded under the bright lights of championship pressure. And yet, here he is, stepping into a ring with someone 60 pounds heavier. That's the first controversy, the weight gap. Davis normally fights at lightweight, around 135 pounds. Jake Paul fights at cruiserweight, nearly 200 pounds. That's not a small jump, that's an entirely different planet. Regulators in Georgia refused to sanction the bout, calling it unsafe. So the fight was moved to Miami, where the commission agreed to sign off. And with that, the circus rolled on. Then comes the matchmaking politics. Davis was supposed to rematch Lamont Roach Jr. after their controversial draw earlier this year. Instead, those plans vanished when Paul's team offered a payday too big to refuse. The business of boxing took over the sport of boxing. For Tank, the critics say this is a detour from greatness. For Jake, it's validation that his stardom can bend the sport to his will. And fans are torn. Some say this fight is a disgrace, a dangerous mismatch with no competitive integrity. Others argue it's exactly what boxing needs: spectacle, drama, and eyes on the sport. On social media, you can find heated debates. Half the comments accuse Davis of selling out, the other half salute Paul for dragging boxing into the modern era, where money and attention mean more than belts. What kind of fight are we even getting? Officially, it's an exhibition. No belts, no rankings, no real legacy at stake. The gloves, round length, and referee style are all tailored to fit this odd matchup. In truth, that's the only way it could happen. With such a size gap, the rules have to bend. But bending rules is what Jake Paul has done from the very start. And tactically, it's fascinating. Davis's only chance lies in speed, angles, and precision. He'll have to slip past Paul's jab, hammer the body, and hope to chop down the bigger man with movement. Paul, on the other hand, will look to bully, use his frame, lean, press, and make it ugly. In shorter rounds, Jake's pressure becomes more effective. In longer rounds, Davis's ring IQ and endurance take over. Every detail, glove size, round count, referee leniency, tilts the scale. If you want more raw fight breakdowns like this, make sure you hit subscribe to MMA Arena. We cut past the hype and bring you the stories the sport can't ignore. Now back to the storm. Media backlash has been relentless. Traditionalists call this fight a disgrace, saying it cheapens the sport. Former champions claim it's nothing but a money play. But Paul's camp counters with a different vision. Boxing is evolving. The sport needs new blood, new markets, new energy. And like it or not, Jake Paul delivers that. He sells tickets. He moves pay-per-views. He makes people care. For Davis, the stakes are stranger. If he wins, critics will shrug. Of course, the faster, sharper champion found openings. If he loses, the narrative could crush him. Imagine the headlines: an undefeated world champion beaten in an exhibition by a YouTuber. Even with the size difference, perception is everything. And perception is what drives this entire fight. Fans know what's happening. For Jake Paul, this is a low-risk, high-reward gamble. He gets clout, credibility, and another payday. For Davis, it's exposure, a chance to expand his reach beyond boxing purists. For both, it's about money as much as it is about sport. That's why people are asking the question out loud. Is this fight about legacy, or is it about selling a show? And yet, despite all the cynicism, the fight has a strange allure. A champion against an entertainer. A pound-for-pound star against a man with raw power and internet bravado. No matter what you think of Jake Paul, no matter how you rate Gervonta Davis, when the bell rings in Miami, millions will be watching. So the question remains, if boxing keeps heading down this path, are we celebrating the sport or selling it out? Are these fights raising boxing's profile or turning it into a carnival act? Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis isn't just about who wins inside the ring. It's about the soul of the sport itself.